Good Wednesday evening, South Carolina Weather Watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson, and let's go in and talk about the weather for your Wednesday evening going into the future. We have some stuff to talk about tonight. But first, before we get into that, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Right now, so far, we have around a good 6 people, actually 9 people in here, and we only have 5 likes. If you are a part of that group that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Also hit the subscribe button. Subscribe, and we are at 650. We have finally made it to the halfway goal of 650 subscribers. And not only that, that's not the only thing to applaud because we're also halfway through the week. It's Wednesday. So a lot of great things. Are happening. Number one, like I said, halfway. Number two, it's also halfway there throughout the week. It's Wednesday. So that's a couple of things, and also share with all of your friends, family members, people you don't even talk to that much, people who you don't talk to on occasion because you don't like them anymore. Just anything. Anybody. Doesn't matter. Just go on and share it with them so they can go on and get their daily weather as well. So what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, we will obviously talk about the weather for what's currently going on. We'll talk about the weather for tonight. We'll talk about the weather for tomorrow and short-term future, the long-term future. And we have some key points to also hit on as we go into tonight. We will be talking about some fog will be occurring tonight. We also will have some above average to well above average temperatures as we go in for these next couple of days. We'll talk about the cold front that comes through Saturday going into Sunday with those rain chances. Then same thing. We'll also talk about the cooler / drier post frontal air mass after we get into Sunday going into next week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and all of that stuff. So we'll talk about all of that tonight. So let's go on and start. As we go on and look at the radar right now, there is indeed nothing going on right now throughout the entire state of South Carolina. But if we go on and scroll our way out, see what's going on throughout the entire U.S., you can see that we do in fact have some rainfall. We have some snowfall going on right now. Rainfall going on with some snowfall maybe in the higher elevation than, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma. And we also do have some snowfall going on up here in Maine. Some rainfall and some sleet going on inside of North Dakota, and maybe some isolated shower and downpour activity going on over here inside of Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, going on over there in Colorado, and then some snow and some rain going on over here in the Pacific Northwest, going also in the northern parts of California. Now, what about our cloud cover? Well, cloud cover right now, we do have some up there in the upstate. That's where the majority of the cloud cover is, especially along that western side as well. Western side does have some cloud cover over there. Also from the southern Midlands over inside the low country. But then as you move all the way into the east, you can see Petey area, Grand Strand, does not have as much cloud cover as over there in the west and in the northern parts. Now, what about our cloud cover for the future? We start off tonight. We go all the way into tomorrow. And when I say tomorrow, I mean like 12 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, like a couple hours. You can see that cloud cover actually starts to clear out a lot. But don't worry, it'll be right back. This is around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And I want you to watch. This cloud cover right here. Go all the way to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock right here. And you can see that cloud cover as it moves its way from the west to the east. You have clear spots that occur, and as that area of clear spots move more and more towards the east, you start to see some more cloud cover just come in and dominate throughout the day, going all the way into 12 o'clock p.m. noon tomorrow. Looks like we will still have some cloud cover throughout this areas as well. Now over here into the 0Z, you push this further even more. Cloudy continue all the way to 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and we can continue this forward all the way to 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday. And then finally, we start to see a little bit of a break in some clouds, but for the most part, it just seems like we're going to just be more inside of the cloudy side of things as we continue throughout the next 48 hours or so. Current temperatures right now: 58 in Somerville as well as 58 in Charleston, 60 Beaufort as well as 58 in Hilton Head Island, 57 in Orangeburg as well as 56 in Georgetown, 56 Murray's Inlet as well as 56 inside of Myrtle Beach. We also do have around a good 56 also in Conway, 56 in Sumter, and 57 in Orangeburg, 58 Aiken, and 57 in Columbia, 55 in Lugoff, and 56 over there in Hartsville, 57 in Lancaster, and as well as 57 in Lawrence, 55 Greenville, Clemson, 57 in Spartanburg and Anderson, 59 in Gaffney. Now, what about for our low temperatures for tonight? Have around a good 45 in Greenville, 43 in Spartanburg, as well as 43 in Rock Hill, 45 in Lawrence and Anderson and Newberry, as well as 46 in Greenwood and Winsboro, 47 in Columbia and 46 in Camden, 47 in Sumter and 50 Aiken, Barnwell, Orangeburg, Moncks Corner, Walterboro, 55 in Charleston and 57 in Hilton Island, 48 in Georgetown and 51 in Myrtle Beach. High temperatures for tomorrow. You have around a good 64 in Greenville, 64 in Spartanburg, and 65 Rock Hill, 65 Winsboro, 66 in Greenwood, Newberry, 69 in Columbia, 68 in Camden, 69 Barnwell, Orangeburg, Sumter, 67 Kingstree and Dillon, as well as Myrtle Beach, Georgetown, Charleston, 68 Moncks Corner, 69 inside of Walterboro, 66 in Hilton Head Island. Rainfall as we move throughout tonight going into tomorrow and tomorrow night. Rainfall not expected at this time as we go throughout today, going into tonight and then, well, obviously tomorrow. Now, what about the SPC outlook? Well, thunderstorms not expected to go throughout today. Tomorrow, right here. And where in the world is day 3? I can tell you day 3. I think day 3 we actually might have a chance for some thunderstorms. We do. But here it is right here. I don't know why it wasn't loaded up, but I got it right here. And we do, in fact, have the chance for some thunderstorms up there inside of the upstate. Yes, there is indeed a little threat for some thunderstorms as we go into Friday. Now, that mainly will just be because of that little system that's going to try and move through like as we get into Saturday. And so that will be the main thing, but like I said, nothing severe or anything like that. We're not looking for, anything like that as we continue throughout the next, weekend. No severe weather or anything like that. Something right now, I'm gonna have to look at the crazy score more towards the end because the system that I'm using to run it is apparently overloaded right now, and there's a lot of people that are using it right now, so the crazy score has not quite updated quite yet. Nothing I can do about it right now. I'm just gonna have to wait for it. And just see, what happens with it, but I can't do anything about that right now. Now, in terms of excessive rainfall, that's just an update that they have. But if you go all the way through day 1, day 2, day 3, we are, actually, no, we are right here near the Ellicott Rock Wilderness, up there in the very far northwestern part of South Carolina. Has a chance for some isolated flash flooding as you get into Friday, but everybody else, fine. No risk for any sort of excessive rainfall. Even as we go into day 4, day 5, right now, not expected at this time. So let's go in and look at the models now. We're going to start off here, 9 o'clock p.m. like we always do. And as we go in and push this forward right here, you can see we were talking about this morning. If you were here this morning, you probably remember me talking about this. But I was talking about the threat for some isolated shower activity to go on inside of the very far western low country. But it's not going to cause any sort of accumulation or anything like that. It's just going to be almost like a little drizzle more than anything. And so that may also occur with the fog, because sometimes when it's foggy outside, you have it feels like it's like a mist or something like that outside, and so that might just be what that is, all the way around 5 to 6 a.m., all the way to 8 a.m. And you see how it calms down. But one thing that doesn't calm down, you get to around a good 5 to 6 p.m. here, you can see the rainfall starting to move from the south, coming up into the north, into the low country, and inside the southern Midlands. And even as you go to around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock in the morning on January the 9th, Friday, rainfall now trying to move its way up inside the upstate a little bit as well. All the way to 2 a.m., 3 a.m., you start to see some more rainfall start to go on throughout the upstate, all the way throughout the night. or all the way throughout the night, going from Thursday night going into Friday morning, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. And then we start to finally see some of that rainfall from that system that we're going to receive this weekend start to hit the upstate as early as 11 o'clock, probably around 10 o'clock, 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning on January the 9th. And you continue it forward, and you see how it stays up there inside of the upstate. This is 3 o'clock p.m., and that same rainfall from that same system is still going over the upstate. But look, everybody else is having fun in the sun. Midlands, Low Country, Petey, Grand Strand, having fun in the sun while the upstate is getting rained on. So that is, something to look for. But obviously, if this was to occur, it's 48 hours out. Things can change here. Models will change. And we'll talk more about that as we get into tomorrow night, especially. But we'll look more and see what the models have to say then. But for right now, it looks like the upstate definitely will get the brunt of the beginning of it. And I honestly think that they will get probably the most of it. And here's why. We go on right here around the 54-hour mark. You see how it stays up there in the upstate. And then as it moves its way through, you see how it starts to lessen its way out. Now, these are on 6-hour increments, so it only updates every 6 hours. So it jumps from 7 p.m. on January the 10th to 1 a.m. on January the 11th. But you see the big jump that it takes once you get to 7 o'clock in the morning. It was not moving that fast just a little bit ago, which makes me seem to believe that as it continues to move its way east, it's going to continue to get weaker, and it's going to move faster, get out of these areas like the Low Country, the PD, the Grand Strand quicker than how it did inside of the upstate and the Midlands. So, like I said, still 90 hours out. Things are going to change, but I think that the upstate, maybe the northern Midlands, but for definitely the upstate probably will get the majority of the rainfall from this system. And not only will it be bringing that rainfall, gusty winds with it, but it also will be bringing cold air as a cold front will be moving its way through right here, January the 11th, the 12th here. And it gets cool, it gets dry as it passes usually with every cold front. But you think we're done? Absolutely not. Right here, January the 14th comes along, another cold front trying to move its way throughout the state. And that one will try to do possibly more than the first one. And not in terms of really like convection or anything like that, but in terms of, because you can see how dry it is. As it pushes its way throughout the state, but possibly just in terms of the temperatures in general, you see how deep down that trough digs deep down. If you look at the other one right here, we go all the way back real quick. You see how this trough, it only goes right down to like Georgia, South Carolina. Look at this one. This one digs deep all the way down like to Florida. And so that one will spread out cold air definitely a lot more. And then you think that we're done there? Still, absolutely not. We'll have another little bit try to go on through. You're even seeing potentially some freezing rainfall going on in Arkansas, Tennessee. You see some sleet going on in Missouri, snowfall going on in Kentucky, West Virginia. That'll go on all the way throughout January the 18th. And then we just have this huge amount of rainfall. Let me go and show you the full-on clip right here. Just a huge amount of rainfall potentially as we go into the 20th, going into the 21st here, going into the 22nd and the 23rd, with potentially some more cooler air behind that. Just look at the mass of rainfall that occurs. It's going to be raining throughout the entire southeast if this was to happen. 342 hours out, so it's way too far out, but it's here on the models, so we're going to continue to watch for it. So if you have anything planned, January the 20th, the 21st, the 22nd, I would really be paying attention. If you have something planned on the 20th going into the 21st and the 22nd. Let's go on now and talk about the dew points, because I do want to look at the cold air. I want to see what these dew points are looking at like and what time, the cold fronts can potentially impact us. So you see the line right here. This is obviously the cold front right here. As it continues to move its way over towards the east, right here, January the 10th, going into January the 11th, and we have some dry air moving its way through all the way throughout the state, obviously, as a cold front does. And look at how dry it gets down there, even in Florida. Well, not going to be humid down there, going to be dry down there going to around January the 12th-ish. And then we stay more in our dry area, but look at this, another significant batch of dry, cold air is going to move its way down through January the 16th, going into the 17th. Even as you go into around like the 19th, the 20th. And then there goes another little round right here on the 22nd and the 23rd. We can also go in and look at the anomalies as well with this. You can see we have this warmer than average air right now. That cooler air will push through, though, go all the way through the 13th, the 14th. Warm air will try to stay, but it's not going to last long. More cooler air, warmer air is going to take back over again on like the 18th, the 19th-ish, going all the way through the 20th until that next cold front pushes in around the 22nd and the 23rd. So we're not done with the warm air. We're definitely not done with it yet. But the cold air is coming. Cold air is coming for sure, going into around January the 11th and even into the 12th. And some of them may even bring some freezing temperature. This is right here, January the 12th in the morning. That is Monday morning right here. So this is Sunday night going into Monday morning. Freezing temperatures going all the way up throughout the upstate, all the way down to the low country area. And you think that we're done for that night? Absolutely not. Another night of freezing temperatures again all the way up there inside the upstate. Freezing temperatures kind of trying to stretch as far down as it can. And we're still seeing 40s near the coast from Monday night going into Tuesday morning. We go back the other night, right here, Sunday night going into Monday morning, right here, January the 12th. You have these temperatures all the way down into the mid to potentially low 30s at the coastal areas. So pretty much the moral is that not only is it going to be just dry, like you can see here, high pressure takes over, but it's also going to be cold as well. Freezing cold temperatures definitely is what we're looking at here. I do want to go in and check this out. I think it is this one. There we go. But you see the pattern right here. You see all of this area that we have over here inside the west. This is all the way January the 14th, but I'm going to go ahead and push that back actually. So there goes the first system right here, January the 9th going into January the 10th. Let me go and get my pen out. You can see all the way this low pressure going on up here inside of the Canada. That's bringing us our system of rainfall, our system of cold air. And so that's going to continue to push its way forward. We have another area right here, on like the January the 11th to 12th. This one actually right here, this might actually be the cold front right here. This one in front of it's kind of just there, actually. So it's actually this one behind it that's actually causing us some cooler air. That goes on and pushes its way through. We're having that, occurring with us. But over there in the west, they're having fun in the sun. In fact, they're having so much fun in the sun that they might actually get incredibly hot. Incredibly hot. So, that might be something for them to watch out for as you go all the way into like the 12th and the 13th, the 14th. Then look at all that Arctic air that comes in from the north going all the way into the Great Lakes area. That will cause potentially some issues even if you go back into the rainfall rates. It's not really much, but definitely is producing some snowfall. But definitely very, very, very cold. In fact, it may be so cold. You're going to have temperatures, for example, like high temperatures being up at 11 degrees up there inside of like northern Michigan. So, going to be very cold for them. And also, same thing for us as well. That's going to drop us down as well. And then we have just some more stuff going on over here inside the west. Another little trough trying to go on. Another little low pressure trying to form down there. And then we start to receive some nicer, warmer weather going into the 19th-ish. Low pressure moves its way through. Brings us another little storm system around like the 22nd and the 23rd. And so, like I said, it's going to be just back and forth. Back and forth. Train of cold fronts. Parade of cold fronts. Bus full of cold fronts, whatever you want to call it, just recurring cold fronts over and over and over again. But that's all I have to say in terms of the weather for the long-term future. Let's go ahead and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off right here, Mr. Chris says, good evening, everyone. Hope you had a great day. I did. Thank you so much for asking. He also says, please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button if you have not already. Also, share with everyone that you know. It's free and it helps the channel grow. Absolutely. Right now, we have around like a good 5, well, that's right now. We've had a good 20 people tune in so far, and we only have 9 likes. If you are a part of that 11 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so right now. It's free, like I said. Change your mind anytime. My Aunt Lula says, I pray that everyone had a great day. I did. Thank you so much for asking. And then also, Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. My Nana says, nice day. Thanks, Shay, for all that you do. Love you as well. No problem at all. Mr. Chris says, current temperature here in Monk's Corner is 57 and a light mist in the air. Right now, if I go in and check out my 57, so same thing, and my old ones also says 57. So we're at the same today for the first time in a good little bit, if ever, even. As we continue our way down, my Aunt Lewis says today in Georgetown, he had a gorgeous day. And then Mr. Chris says, had a very productive day, got a lot done. Great to hear. That says, good evening, Joseph. I trust all is well. Another beautiful day here in San Antonio. It's currently 72 degrees, clear skies, and no precipitation in sight. And that will most likely continue. We'll talk about that. My Aunt Lewis says, today I rode to Myrtle Beach. We had a beautiful day, sunny and nice. Great to hear about that. And then Terrell says, greetings, everyone. Greetings to you. Mr. Michael says, it's a lovely, calm evening in the low country of Beaufort. And then Mr. Chris says, this is going to be very strange. Well, in terms of our pattern, yeah, it will. It will be. I mean, but for this time of year, especially with those freezing temperatures, you shouldn't be shocked by it. Don't be shocked by freezing temperatures. People have been trying to get, I'd honestly say, surprised by the fall spring. This happens every year at this point. We have this warm up that happens during the wintertime. We're back up in the 70s, some people up in the 80s, and we're like, okay, winter's over. Absolutely not, because we have like a second and third winter after each fall spring that happens. There's a whole, I have it saved on my phone. I'm gonna have to send that out, but it's like a whole list. I mean, you have like fall spring, second winter, you have like a second summer, when it gets to fall, but then we start to receive temperatures back up in the 90s again, and then you have like the hottest time of the year where it feels like 120 outside, and you just have all those seasons that happen over and over and over again. But I know a lot of actual meteorologists have shared it as well, like ones that are actually on TV actually show it. But that's pretty much all that I see here inside of the chat. So let's go on now and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 locations outside of South Carolina? What are you talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly. The reason why we talk about them is because we have people, like I said, that tune in, and then also they show up and they show their support. And their location is not even the main one being talked about. And so let's go on now and talk about San Antonio first. We have low temperatures tonight at around a good 66, high temperatures tomorrow at 80, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 62. And then in terms of precipitation, not expected at this time. In terms of severe weather, you probably can guess it. But if you said no precipitation at this time, or no severe weather or excessive rainfall at this time, you actually got it correct. So congratulations to you. So yeah, we're not expecting any sort of severe weather or anything like that. No excessive rainfall or anything like that for you. Now, in terms of for your future, it looks like right now that, like you said, it's going to be dry for a good little bit until Monday. 20% chance. That's only a 20% chance. Yes, it can grow, but it can also shrink as well. So you still have a little bit of a while to go before you get some rainfall, at least some accumulation with that. It will cool back down, though. Like I said, we've been talking about that cool down going all the way through into Saturday. You have your high temperature at around 59, so it will cool back down. Then for Raleigh, you have low temperature tonight at 42, high temperature tomorrow at 63, and then low temperature tomorrow night at 46. In terms of your precipitation, none is expected, so you're good there. Excessive rainfall, Severe weather, none of that is expected either. Now, what about your future? Well, it looks like right now that you will indeed see some precipitation at least this weekend. Saturday 50%, Saturday night 70%, Friday night 40%, and that will come with a bit of a cool down as well. It will warm up Friday going into Saturday, but Sunday it will drop back down. High temperatures at 57, low temperatures down near 28 degrees. Monday, high temperature of 47. So you'll drop back down real quick, real quick. Then for Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 35, high temperatures tomorrow at 50, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 34. Precipitation not expected at this time for now. Severe weather, excessive rainfall, none of that's expected either. In terms of your future, right now it looks like some rainfall definitely is on the way. On Friday, 30%, Saturday, 100%, Saturday night, 80%, and it will drop. Temperatures will rise a little bit, but then they'll drop back down like Monday, 41, Tuesday, 45, and these are high temperatures. Low temperatures would be down like 29, 30, 31. And then finally for Duncan, Oklahoma, you have low temperatures tonight at 57, high temperatures tomorrow at 72, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 39. In terms of your severe weather and excessive rainfall, you actually do have a shot for some severe weather. It's really for tonight going into tomorrow for both days. Isolated severe, wind, isolated as well severe hail. All of that's possible, but for right now, it's not looking like it's doing much right now. In fact, there's not even a special weather statement, so I don't think it's doing much right now, but it's looking like some rainfall definitely is near you, but not quite there. And tomorrow, same thing, isolated severe, wind of up to 60 miles per hour, isolated damaging hail of up to an inch in diameter. All of that's possible going into tomorrow. And so that's it for these 4 areas. What's going on in terms of the entire U.S. weather news-wise? Weather news. Looks like right now, heavy mountain snow will continue into Thursday afternoon across the Cascades. 2 fast-moving storms will track from the southern Rockies to the Great Lakes Thursday and then Friday into Sunday with areas of gusty winds and heavy snow. In the southeast U.S., severe thunderstorms and heavy to excessive rainfall are forecast on Friday. We also will have some dense fog inside of northeastern Minnesota, inside of Louisiana, inside of southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, the panhandle of Florida, even the northern peninsula of Florida, southern Georgia, all receiving some dense fog as we go into tonight. And not only that, but also, if you want to look at the actual severe weather threat, go all the way to day 3, it is now, that's really like the main area that they're watching for over there inside of like Louisiana, inside of Mississippi, inside of Alabama, and inside of Tennessee. So if you know anybody inside those areas, definitely should let them know. They have some severe weather coming for them. Areas like Memphis, Tennessee, Birmingham, Alabama, going inside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi, Huntsville, Alabama, Houston, Nashville, Tennessee, New Orleans, Montgomery, Shreveport, all of those areas have that threat for some severe weather on Friday. So if you know anybody over there, just let them know. Let them know real quick. It even stretches all the way up into Kentucky as well. And I think that's all that I can see here. Let me go on and check out the chat. Ms. Tolliver says, good evening to you. And then let me go on also and check out the top fans of the night tonight. Right now, looks like still at number 1. Well, let me go on and, make sure real quick, but I'm pretty sure, yeah. Mr. Chris still at number 1. Maya Lula is over here at number 2. And then, I believe Thad is at number 3. So congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. If you want to be a top fan, you can. You just have to be here, early. You have to be a subscriber of the channel. You have to type inside the chat and also be active as well. And then this is what I was talking about earlier. I was talking about there are actually 11 seasons here. Let me go in and get that right there. Oops, that's too far out. This is what I was talking about how I said there was actually 11 seasons instead of just 4. You have winter, full spring. This is where we are. Then we have that second winter. Then we have the spring of deception. Then we have the third winter, mud season, actual spring, summer, fall, second summer, actual fall. And then somewhere in there as well, you can also have just the hottest time of the year. And then all of that stuff happens. Snow season, severe weather season. All of that could be added. And so that's just a running joke that's going on. But that's about all that I have to say for tonight. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow morning with your Thursday morning forecast update. Make sure you're here tomorrow night. We have our drought monitor to talk about. This is what it looks like if you want to know what it looks like. We have a drought going on over there inside of the upstate, inside of the low country, inside of the southern Midlands right now, the western Midlands. So, all of that we have to talk about tomorrow night. We'll talk about that. So everyone have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday evening, and I'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you hit those 2 buttons before you leave.